going to be banding the neck and ears on a show poodle. So this isn't right after a bath. This is a few days later. I'm just redoing the bands because they're getting a little bit messy. So I'm not going to make sure that he's 100% combed out because I'll deal with tangles and stuff on his actual bath day. This is just kind of redoing the parts and getting the head banded again. So what you need is obviously your bands, a conditioning spray of some kind, a parting comb. I also like to have a regular wide tooth comb and my slicker brush, which is a Madden blue brush. Okay, so I am going to start with banding his head. Hopefully this angle is going to be okay. There you go. Okay, made your head a little bit more up. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to take one of our bands, and I usually put it in my mouth just so I have it. And we're going to take our parting comb. We're just going to have a light mist on the hair just so that it lays fairly nicely and we don't have any static. Now we're going to part the hair just behind the eyes. And what you're wanting is a nice, clean, straight part. So once you have it parted the first time, you just want to look and see where you want to make any adjustments to make sure that it is a nice, clean, straight part. And then I'm going to spray the hair behind it to help it lay down. You can also put like a comb in there and stuff. I find that at this length I don't need that really. And then I'm just going to make sure there aren't any big crazy tangles in there. And then I'm going to take my last band and I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm just going to tug on a little bit just to make sure that it's not too tight that it's going to be uncomfortable. So it's got some give to it, if you can tell that. So now I'm going to leave that section for now. There are many different ways to band. I have a few other videos showing different ways than this, but with him he has a tendency not to purposefully rub his bands out, but he does end up getting them rubbed out or catches in his brother's teeth when they're playing and that kind of thing. And so I try to be a little bit minimal with him to be sure that the bands aren't causing additional breakage. He's not used to his head being up quite this high, but it just works a little bit better for filming. So again, I made my part, and I'm just trying to make sure that I have a fairly nice, straight, even line. I'm growing in a little bit of hair on his side, so that might look a little bit messy still. And then I just give a bit of a spray. Again, I'm just trying to make sure that the rest of the hair is laying down and not getting in my way. And then I'm going to give a quick run through with my comb to make sure there aren't any big tangles. And then I'm going to wrap this around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm just going to pull it a little bit each direction just to make sure that there's a little bit of give in it, so that it's not going to be pulling on your dog's skin, because the more it's pulling on your dog's skin, the more uncomfortable it's going to be. So then I'm going to band these 2 front sections together. So I did corner of the eye to corner of the eye pretty much, maybe a little bit past that for the first band, and then I did in front of the ear to in front of the ear on the second band. And now I'm going to attach these 2 together. So I just took my comb and just kind of combed them so that they would sit fairly nicely together. and put in one band around 3 times. And then I'm going to take another band and put it around 3 times. And that way it's banded together here, banded, and then I stuck them together for these last 2. I can lower his head back down now. There you go. And now I'm going to band the section just above his ears. So the biggest thing with this is that you want to make sure that you are not getting any ear hair into your band. You'd rather have a little bit more head hair falling down into the ears rather than have ear hair into your band, because that's just going to be uncomfortable and again make them rub more and just not be very pleasant. So I'm going to feel where the ear is, and then starting just above that, I'm going to create my part. And again, you just feel, if you think, oh, I need to do a little bit more, you can do a little bit more. You can straighten out that line. Again, you can see I've got that line. And then I'm going to go over and do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to feel where the ear is. And I'm going to run my comb along there and gently separate the hair. Again, that actually feels pretty good. And then I'm going to go at the back of the head. Actually, and I'm going to take just a little bit more from here. There we go. That's better. And then at the back of the head, I'm just going to take it straight across, making sure I don't get any extra hair in there. And I'm going to gently pull that free. So, hope you can see that. I've got this straight line here. I've got this straight line here. And I've got this straight line here. And again, use the spray, keep everything all together. Run my comb up, make sure there aren't any big tangles. And then I'm going to take my band, and I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to again make sure that there's nothing tight. And then this one I'm just going to leave by itself. So I'm just going to take a couple more bands and wrap them around. 1, 2, yeah, I'll probably put in another one. And there we go, it's evenly banded, kind of every inch-ish or so up the length of the coat. So that is our head and, well, just our head banded. And then I will see if I can position you better to do the ears. Maybe that's okay. Okay, we're gonna see if that's a good angle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna again spray the ear, and I'm just gonna run my brush through it. Like I said, if there's a bit of tangles, you know, I'm not gonna really brush out the tips of his ears because they've just got a little bit of slobber and a little bit of dirt in them and that kind of thing. So I'm not gonna worry about, you know, little tangles at the very edge of the ear right now. That I can wait for bath day. So I'm going to be banding down the whole front of this ear, and then I'm not sure if I can zoom in this one. I can't. Okay, I'm gonna band down the front of this ear, and then I'm gonna put a couple bands below the ear. So what I'm gonna start by doing is I'm gonna take the ear, and I'm gonna make a part just like 1.5 inches maybe back. All right, we've got a little tangle here. I'm just going to gently work it out. Ooh, what did you do? There we go. Okay. So As you can see, I took just kind of an inch or so back on the ear, like this way, and then I just made a part that just angled back out to the edge of the ear. So you can see that I just angled it so that it went back to the edge of the ear. That way I can gather the ear hair from the very front of this ear, and then I'm going to flip the ear over and I'm going to match that line on the inside of the ear. So I matched it there. So I'm holding the inside ear hair and I'm holding the outside ear hair. And again, spray to keep everything together and out of the way. And just lightly comb through it again. Like I said, there's the odd little tangle in there. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, so I'm going to band that piece of hair. So this is the full ear. Sorry, I shouldn't be wearing black. This is the full ear here. And then I've banded this piece here. I'm going to let that hair fall down. I'm going to bring the back ear hair, I'm going to bring that towards the back because I'm only needing to band the hair at the front of the ear. And then I'm going to continue the line that I created and just do a little swoop back to the edge of the ear so I can grab the next section. You can see I've got the first section and then I've got the second section. And again, I'm going to flip the ear and continue that line on the inside. If it isn't exactly precise, that's fine. Again, spray if you need to hold it together. I'm then going to again run the comb through and make sure there's no big tangles. And then I'm going to combine the two sections. Like so. So now they are combined, and I'm going to continue that down the ear where I'm going to take the front little swoop section of hair and I'm going to flip the ear and match this back section. There we go. And then I'm going to band all of that together. There, so I've got all three of those banded together. And then I can usually do one more section here at the bottom. Again, match it on the inside. Spray if you need to. And then we'll just comb it together and stick in one more band. There we go. So as you can see, we've got the whole our front section banded. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have just the ear hair. And we're going to hold it all together, including the banded section. And we're going to run our finger down and feel for the edge of the ear. Once you've hit the edge of the ear, that's where you're going to be putting in your band for the whole thing. So I find that edge, I remember where it was. I'm going to take my band. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And then the important part is you're going to take your comb and you're going to stick it in between so that you know that you do not have any ear leather stuck in your ear. I can even give it a little tug down and that will be sure. You can also do them to each of these sections if you want to, but I find that I don't have an issue like with the way I'm banding. I'm usually holding it far enough away from the ear that's not an issue, but if you're ever at all questioning it, always check with your comb. And then his ears just long enough that I'm going to stick one more band just a little bit past that first band. And that ear is done. It's all held together as you can see. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side. It'll be the exact same steps, but you're all right, buddy. but I will repeat it for the camera just because maybe the angle is a little bit better, or maybe I show something a little bit better. So I will just redo it on this side as well. So I'm going to spray the ear with some conditioning spray. I'm just going to run my comb through it just to smooth it out. Like I said, not worrying too much about if they have, you know, a little bit of tangle here or there, because I don't want to be ripping at dirty hair. Okay, so I'm going to take my parting comb, and from about an inch back here, I'm going to slide it along and then pull it forward. And I find that the longer the hair is, generally the bigger your sections can be, but he's only 10 months old, so he doesn't have crazy long ear hair yet. And again, I pulled it to the inside, and I got the inside pieces as well. And then just a light spray, and I already ran my comb over it. I'm also like, I kind of pull it straight down. I don't try and bend it going forward. I kind of pull it kind of straight down, even maybe a little bit back, just because I would like to keep the ear as facing away from the mouth as possible so that it's less easy to eat. So again, this front section is banded, and you kind of want to bend it down. I wouldn't pull it out to band it either, so like I'm banding it more like this, not like up. And again, I'm going to push back the other hair because we really only need to get this front section. And run it down, pull it apart gently. If we have any tangles, gently pull that apart. And then flip it to the inside. Make sure you've got kind of the inside bit matching up. Okay. Run the comb through it just to make sure it's lying smoothly. And down that section. Again, always just wrapping the band around no more than 3 times. And then we're going to move on to the next section. There we go. And again, flip it to the inside. Match up the inside hair. And we're going to band this section together. There. And then we'll do one more. There we go. And we'll do the inside. There we go. And comb it through so it lays flat. And wrap it around 3 times. So I've got the front of the ear all banded. So now I'm going to make sure I don't have head hair in here. I'm going to give it a light spray. Need to run a brush through it. And then I'm going to feel down the ear, and that's where his ear ends. I'm going to bunch it together. I'm going to take my band, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take my comb, make sure I don't have any ear hair inside of there. I usually give it a little tug down, and then we're going to stick in one more band on the bottom. And as you can see, that ear is all held together and tidy. Now, I'll just show you what that all kind of looks like. This is his head banded, and his other ear. And that's how you band the head and ears on your show poodle. Thanks for watching.